Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Fellowship of Nanaimo. Our mission is to create spiritual connection and bring compassion, discovery, and social justice to life. My name is Larry Bolt, and I have the honor and privilege to be your service leader this morning. My pronouns are he, him, and his. Please take a moment now to silence or turn off your cell phones. Maybe we should be doing a selfie right now or something. So we have a bunch of people going to be watching us on Zoom, so let's say hello to them by turning around and waving to the frog up here so they can see your faces and you're waving. And then when you turn around here, you see them waving at you. Whatever your hopes, dreams, aspirations, whatever your race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, whatever makes you who you are warmly welcomed here. In keeping with our Unitarian Universalist aspiration of radical inclusion, we invite you to share your pronouns as well as your name when introducing yourself, if you are comfortable doing so. We're grateful for the diversity of voices on Sunday mornings, and our services vary from week to week. Our service can be between 60 and 75 minutes long. If this is your first time with us, a very special welcome to you. If you're joining us online, please consider sharing your contact information with us. You can share it with the host by going to the chat icon at the bottom of your screen. We'd love to welcome you to our community. We have a wonderful website, ufon.ca, spelled UFON.ca, and invite you to check it out for more detailed information about who we are, the services we offer, and how you can connect with us. We acknowledge today that we meet on the traditional territory of the Nanaimo First Nation. As Unitarians, we are committed to the work of reconciliation required to address the harm done to all Indigenous peoples and their cultures by non-Indigenous peoples. We have much to learn from the Indigenous perspective, including that the earth is the source of all life and that our responsibility is to honor and care for it. You may have noticed something different here today, and that's our own Leah Hookinson is back from her. She's back from her world tour. She's back from her world tour down in sunny California. On behalf of everyone here, welcome home. So next Sunday, March 8th, is International Women's Day, and to celebrate, the women at this fellowship have been faithfully making the coffee. These are the people who have been faithfully making the coffee and preparing beforehand and cleaning up after the post-service snacks. They're going to take that day off. So if you want coffee, man, you know what to do. So here's your opportunity to learn how to make the coffee, operate the dishwasher, prepare the snacks, clean up after, and full instructions are actually listed on the fridge. Aren't those women wonderful to put that up there for us, because we wouldn't be able to do it. So you can check that out ahead of time. So as it says here, women of the fellowship unite. You have nothing to lose but the kitchen duties, if only for one Sunday. Currently, we have myself and 3 others who have stepped up to this challenge. However, I'm hearing from some of the women here that there's at least 3 women who do this task every week, at least a minimum, and that they will need at least 6 men since they tell me it takes 2 men to do the work of 1 woman. So men, if you're up to the challenge, see me after today's service. Now, who here remembers their math class? Way back in school, eh? I see some hands up. Yeah, they remember their math. You may not know this, but Pi Day is commemorated each year on March 14th. The early Greek mathematician Archimedes is claimed to have created the formula pi r squared, which is the mathematical formula used to calculate the area of a circle, where pi is approximately 3.14 and r is the radius of the circle. It represents the total space inside that circle's boundary. I think Archimedes would have been a great Unitarian. So why are we doing a math refresher, you say? Well, we're going to join the rest of the world in celebration by having a Pi Day potluck on Saturday, March 14th here in the hall. Do you get it? 3rd month, 14th day, 3.14. Doors open at 5 p.m. Bring your favorite sweet or savory pie, homemade or purchased, vegetarian or non-vegetarian, pre-warmed if possible. Salads are welcome too, and I personally look forward to seeing a salad pie. This is an evening of fellowship, and there's a sign-up sheet at the back of the hall for those for you to put up what you want to bring. Contact Suzanne Andre if you're willing to help with setup and or cleanup. Now I know you're all dying to know what Sharon and I plan to bring. Well, here's a hint. Hit it, Leah. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Now you know that they don't allow me in the choir. And now back to our regular scheduled announcements. Have you looked through our website, ufon.ca, lately? I think you'll agree that some of the photos on the website are in great need of an update. And the Communications Committee is calling on you to take photos of the many activities that take place here. Social events, the book club, choir rehearsals, film nights, meetings, rallies, post-coffee chats, picnics, whatever helps tell our story here at the Fellowship. A few guidelines: make sure that everyone in your photo has agreed to have their picture taken. And please, no picture taking during the Sunday services. Action shots and close-ups make for more interesting photos, and don't forget to label them. If you have questions or some photos you'd like to submit, contact Tony Turner. We have a number of 343-777-1867, or you can just email tony@tonyturner.ca. To find out about all special events, groups, and meetings taking place in the hall, you can go to the calendar on our website, read the weekly email sent to you on Friday, or check out the large whiteboards in the hall by the washrooms. Now, let us enter into sacred time. Our amazing music director, Leah Hokinson, will lead us into worship through music.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Our prelude this morning is called In the Sound, and it's all about how when we open our ears and listen to our world, how it brings us into presence. And our theme this morning is seeing the forest anew. So just imagining that when we hear the sounds around us, that we are making the world anew. I hear the song of the wind rustling in the trees, scattering the leaves on the ground. It's the voice of the blessed now, ever flowing in the sound. I hear the song of the river rushing over stones and wending its way all around. It's the voice of the blessed now, ever flowing in the sound. I hear the song of the earth, a chorus of creatures, and the beauty they surround. In the voice of the blessed now, ever flowing in the sound. I hear the song of my heart beating to the mystery of the
Beautiful. Now, I mentioned about the one minor change, well, one not minor, major change, having Leah back, but you'll also notice who's missing. Reilly. She's heartbroken she's not able to be with us today, but she is with her mom in Vancouver who is recovering from sepsis at Vancouver General Hospital. She appreciates knowing that Nanaimo Unitarians will always support her to be where she needs to be. And she knows you will also be sending your care and concern. So please keep Reilly in your thoughts today. Our opening words today were written by Susan Davison Archer. The earth is warming, the birdsong increases, the sweeter breezes brush our cheeks, and the earth holds hope in its seeds and buds. Come, let us gather this morning with joyful noise, with warm hearts, and with hopeful spirits, for we are one with the renewal of the earth and blessedly held in the love of one another. And I failed to mention about, with Reilly, she has sent along a video of a service that she did recently. So we will be able to see Reilly today, just not in person.
Good morning. Today's service is in celebration of trees. As we light our chalice today, let's enjoy these words by Mary Oliver and her poem, When I Am Among the Trees. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness, I would almost say that they save me daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself in which I have goodness and discernment and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches, and they call again. It's simple, they say, and you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine.
Please rise in body or in spirit, and we will sing together Start Anew. I will sing it through the first time, and then please join me the second two times. Start anew, with our ears to the ground. We're listening to the sound of our mother. From deep inside the earth, a song of rebirth, that we will sing together and start anew.
there's any young folk or those young at heart would like to come up and sit on the mat and watch the video today for today's story, it's called I Am a Tree.
This is the poem I Am a Tree from the album I Am a Tree. I am a tree. I am a tree and I stand so tall. I have great big branches and little branches small. When the wind blows left or the wind blows right, I keep my branches strong with all of my might. I am a tree and I stand so tall. I have great big branches and little branches small. Bees can build a hive, birds can build a nest. My branches stay strong. I always try my best. I am a tree and I stand so tall. I have great big branches and little branches small. Rain makes me strong and snow makes me bright. I grow through all the seasons, all day and all night. I am a tree and I stand so tall. I have great big branches and little branches small. I love the earth and the earth loves me. I stand so tall because I am a tree.
I'd just like to take a moment to call up our board treasurer to share about this year's canvas. My name is Larry Bolt, and I have the privilege to be your board treasurer. It's the month of March, folks. So this is the month that your board of directors start planning for the next church year. We can't do that without your help. So today we're kicking off our annual Pledge Canvas Drive. So you'll see a number of things that have happened in the past couple of church years. For example, we brought in Reilly and Reverend Deborah Falk to enhance our Sunday services. I think you'll agree with me when I say that they did and are still doing a fantastic job for us. And then last year in June, our ministerial search committee informed us that they had an applicant for our vacant minister's position. They then began the work of writing and securing a contract with Reverend Ashley Burzak, who began working with us at the end of November. Our fellowship rallied around and have made her and her family very welcome in our community. So how do we top all that? Our canvas theme for the month of March is Making Room for More. What does that mean to you? The goal for all of us is to grow our congregation, and in particular, the next generation of Unitarian Universalists. Your board, along with Reverend Ashley, are working hard to employ a qualified spiritual education of children and youth specialist. Interviews have already begun. As you know, Reverend Ashley has 2 elementary school aged children, and we anticipate that we will see growth in the number of families with children over the next few years. We've learned some valuable lessons about being a landlord. Like with the shelter, there comes a time when we can't manage the duties with volunteers alone. We have advertised and have been interviewing for a part-time handy person that can help with the many things that can arise with our building and with our tenants. Another thing that's being discussed is a refresh of our sanctuary here. New paint, maybe? different lighting, all kinds of different ideas. We have found some safety concerns in the children's rooms that have been addressed quite recently. Thank you to those who took care of that. And to be able to do these things, we look to your continued support. So the title of our pledge drive, Making Room for More, is quite apt this year. Our goal to achieve all this is $100,000. While it seems like a lot of money, it will still leave us with a deficit budget. Last year we achieved our goal of $85,000, and our goal represents an increase of 18%. Your board members and joint financial committee members have already begun this year's pledge drive, so drum roll, Leah, show us what we've got in so far. Almost 10% of our goal has already been pledged. That's from your board and the finance committee. So we've got a good start to the canvas. Your turn will come this Thursday when the canvas information will be sent out to you by Brenda Pilon, our office administrator. Or should you want to submit your pledge before then, you can see the folks at the welcoming table at the back. Brenda has the forms there that you could fill out, and she will make sure they get handed on to Brenda Pilon. Thank you, everyone. Each week we'll have someone sharing their experience with the canvas testimonial. And today you get to hear from another person here. So since I have been asked to lead the weekly testimonials off, I'll go get myself. Different hat. Today is March 1st. Crazy, eh? I want to take a few moments to expand on what I shared after the movie last weekend for those that were here, and for those that were unable to stay for the movie. I spoke of how Sharon and I ended up coming to the Unitarian Universalist faith. We were married in the Anglican Church, but over time we got away from there because our sons were heavily involved with minor hockey. Sharon will tell you that I too was heavily involved. Fast forward, the boys had moved out, and we decided to join a United Church. After a few years there, we just didn't think it was the right fit for us. Through circumstance, we found the First Unitarian Church of Victoria. The first service we attended was on a Mother's Day, and a lay chaplain was sharing about being a mother to a lesbian daughter. Her story was so welcoming and wonderful that we stayed. When we moved to Nanaimo, we made a point of joining this fellowship. One of the requests of members is that we make an annual pledge to donate money. We have made a point of doing this to the best of our financial ability. We've seen the many good works that have gone on at our fellowship since we moved here 6 years ago, and have come to realize that the speakers that Sunday services brought in needed to be compensated for their time and travel in some cases. This fellowship owns our building, and that comes with costs, as any homeowners here will attest to. Also, the good work that our various committees do have some costs associated with them. By pledging, I am part of keeping those committees active. You know what I'm talking about, a few of which are the Environmental Justice Committee, the Rainbow Committee, our choir, our tech committee, the AV team, who are able to have our services live streamed to our members who are unable to attend on Sundays. While what Sharon and I are able to contribute is really just a drop in the bucket compared to what the fellowship requires, I'm reminded of a couple of things. How do you move a mountain? One stone at a time. And the other is, many hands make light work. So when we all make our contributions, that creates that light work. Thank you. I'll now turn this over to Nuria. We're tag teaming today, as you noticed.
It is now time for the offering. For those of us in the hall, Charla and Linda will now pass the baskets. For those visiting us for the first or the second time, we consider your presence to be your contribution. We are grateful for your presence. Feel free to let the baskets pass. Those online can go to our website and click the big blue donate button on the home page to give. To help the wider community, half of all cash donations will be given to our charity of the month. The charity this month is called Community Circles Restorative Justice Society. It is a non-profit that provides restorative justice and conflict mediation services for free to individuals, groups, and organizations on Vancouver Island. So the name was Community Circles Restorative Justice Society. If your donation is by e-transfer or check, and you want it to be shared with the charity of the month, please make a note of that on your e-transfer or check. And for those who don't carry cash, no worries. We now accept donations via debit or credit cards, and this can be conveniently done at the welcoming table near the entry doors after the service. Thank you for your generosity towards our congregation and our community.
As a spiritual community, it is our intention to be authentically present to one another. One way we do this is by including in the service a time to listen to the significant personal milestones in our lives. If you have had such a milestone and wish to share it, now is the time to do so. We'll begin with those of you in the hall, and then we'll invite those attending on Zoom. When you come to the microphone, please introduce yourself with your full name and your pronouns if you wish, and you have up to a minute to share. And you may have noticed that we've started using the name Joys and Sorrows for this part of the service rather than Joys and Concerns. That's because we want to set aside this time to talk about the truly significant personal milestones in our lives. It's a time for listening, empathizing, supporting, and caring. In that spirit, we would ask that people not use joys and sorrows for a time of announcements or political statements, and that you keep your statements brief, about a minute or so. When you come to the microphone, please introduce yourself with your full name. You have up to... I place the final pebble in the water bowl for the joys and sorrows that have been left unspoken. I ask that you hold in your heart everything that you have heard and felt.
Join with me now in a time of meditation. I will guide you through the script that Reilly has written, and then we'll enjoy some silence together. Sit quietly now and take a moment to adjust your posture in your seat. Find a little more comfort, a little more spaciousness. Now, take a deep breath. Take another one, a bit more slowly this time, right into the belly. Now, imagine yourself with one of your favorite trees. Maybe one comes to mind for you instantly. Maybe you need to take a moment to let one come to you. Now, quietly listen to that tree. Maybe what you hear is leaves rustling, or wind, gently blowing through the tree's green needles or leaves. Or maybe the tree has something to say. Maybe there's a message here. If you stop and listen to the tree. We'll take a few moments now to listen to what comes to us when we sit in silence together.
Please remain seated as we sing together for the earth forever turning.
I'm going to start with a poem, The Forest for the Trees, by Rena Priest. I have seen a tree split in two from the weight of its opposing branches. It can survive, though its heart is exposed. I have seen a country do this too. I have heard an elder say that we must be like the willow, bend, not to break. I have made peace this way. My neighbors clear-cut their trees, leaving mine defenseless. The arborist says they'll fall in the first strong wind. Together we stand. I see that now. I have seen a tree grown around a bicycle, a street sign, and a chainsaw, absorbing them like ingredients in a great melting pot. When we speak, whether or not we agree, The trees will turn the breath of our words from carbon dioxide into air. Give us new breath for new words, new chances to listen, new chances to be heard. So when trees turn carbon dioxide into air, they do it silently, like a meditation. Carbon dioxide drifts onto them, the breath of animals like us, the breath of our engines, the breath of our fires. When sunlight strikes them, trees catch that light and they use it to unfasten the carbon gently and weave it into the wood, into bark, into the tree's slow architecture of rings that record each year. For an old-growth tree, that's many years before any of us here in this sanctuary were even born. Those rings, that trunk, that wood, that bark are shade and shelter for insects, for birds, for mycelium networks, for everything that a forest needs to be healthy. Ursula Le Guin says, "In diversity is life, and where there's life, there's hope." What the tree does not need, it gives back. Oxygen slips out like the tree's gift, like the meditator's silent gratitude or compassion for the world. This oxygen rises, invisible but essential. It fills our lungs and sometimes feeds our flames. All day long, forests are engaged in this sacred practice without attention, without applause. They take our used up breath, they bask it in sunlight, and then they give us back the air that makes life itself possible. When we speak, whether or not we agree, the trees will turn the breath of our words from carbon dioxide into air. Give us new breath for new words, new chances to listen, new chances to be heard. Old-growth forests in regions like coastal British Columbia can store up to around 1,000 tons of carbon per hectare. That's one of the highest carbon densities in the world. But starting in 2002, and thank you to Jim Jordan for putting these facts in this month's newsletter, our forests began to emit more carbon into the atmosphere than they stored. The combination of intensive logging, the pine beetle outbreak, and wildfires flipped Canada's forests from a carbon sink, a place that carbon is stored, into one of the larger sources of our emissions. In fact, in the worst wildfire year that we've had so far, 2023, Canada's forests released 1,069 megatons of carbon dioxide. That was significantly larger than all our other national emissions combined. If our forests were a country, in 2023 they would have emitted more than Japan, Germany, or Russia. So we've got to save the trees. And thank you to everyone here who has supported the encampments at Fairy Creek. Thank you for helping protect the amabilis fir, the western hemlock, the yellow cedar, and the western red cedar, which have been standing together as a forest since long before British Columbia existed. And thank you to those of you who have joined Sartlip Elder Carl Olson during his Tuesday protests at Goldstream River. Thank you for defending the 700 trees that the provincial government is proposing to remove in order to widen the highway. Those trees form a shade canopy and they cool the water that the young salmon rely on to survive. Those trees aren't a decoration for a postcard of the best place on earth. They are an essential part of a living ecosystem that animals rely on to survive. Animals like us. So my organization, My Climate Plan, is making a bet that although climate feels shunted aside these days, pushed to the bottom of the priority list by nationalism and affordability, we cannot ignore the reality of the interdependent web for very long. Even if people might want to, understandably in some ways, stop thinking about it and talking about it, a stable climate is a vital ecosystem that is impossible to ignore. So the truth is, more Canadians are saying that they are impacted by climate change than ever. The number of Canadians who personally say they have been impacted by climate change continues to grow. In 2023, that same year when our forests were a globally significant carbon emitter, that number jumped from 23% of Canadians to 35% of Canadians, and it is only going to continue to grow. Consistently, at least 75% of Canadians say they are concerned about climate change. In our highly divided world, that's a remarkably strong consensus. So how do we translate that into political action? And how do we stay committed despite the setbacks of the past few years? When we speak, whether or not we agree, the trees will turn the breath of our words from carbon dioxide into air. Give us new breath for new words, new chances to listen, new chances to be heard. So at My Climate Plan, we do a lot of things, too many to talk about in this one homily, but the one I want to focus on today is our campaign called Don't Let Canada Burn. We work with people who have been directly affected by climate change, in this case by climate-fueled wildfires, to help them to tell their story and to build a community of support and advocacy around them. This photo is from our first delegation to Ottawa, asking the federal government and the Minister of Natural Resources to double the funding to wildland firefighters. That's Harold Larson. He's a veteran wildfire fighter and author. At the press conference that we held in Ottawa, Harold said, "I fought wildfires for more than 20 years, and I had the privilege of leading hundreds of firefighters. Over my 2 decades of service, I saw wildfires change, burning hotter, faster, and more destructive every year. On the fire line, I also saw our firefighting force burn away too. We need national leadership." This is Chad Thomas, a Tahltan emergency management specialist and founder of Yukon First Nations Wildfire. He said, "Indigenous crews defend their own traditional territory. That's motivation you can't buy. Put them in the plan, in the budget, and in command. I started fighting fire as a teenager and have led and trained crews across the North. For me, this work is a calling. It's our homes, our people, and our lands on the line." During this delegation, we also hired a billboard that drove around Ottawa with this message: "Support wildfire firefighters, build clean energy." We held a press conference and delivered over 10,000 petition signatures to the many MPs that we met with. The reason we've invested so much in this campaign is not only because we understand how absolutely crucial it is to give everything that we've got to protect our forests. This is Rosalie Yazzie. She's a member of the Silks Okanagan First Nation, and we're also very honored to have her as one of our board members. She's a lawyer specializing in Aboriginal law, title and rights, and nation rebuilding. Her family lost 6 homes in a 2023 wildfire. Her son is a wildland firefighter, and she brought a photo of her territory on fire to Ottawa with her. She said, "What we're seeing happening now in the Okanagan is what we're going to see all across this country if we don't address the climate crisis." So we're working on this campaign because it captures all 4 of our key goals at My Climate Plan: to build resilience, to reach new audiences, to practice solidarity, and to prevent climate change. Sometimes people think that because we work on preparing for climate impacts and responding to the ones that are already happening, that means that we've somehow given up on preventing climate change. But that is absolutely not true. Better forest management and wildfire protection is not just about dealing with climate impacts. It's also about preventing more climate change from happening. Every megaton that we can keep guarded within the trees matters. Every degree of warming that we can prevent represents millions of lives. So we can't give up. At My Climate Plan, we're also talking about climate impacts because we have seen that that is what works to reach new audiences. Research by Eco-Analytics and Reclimate suggests that most communications about climate change only reach the already very alarmed. Now, first off, for worse and for better, that segment is growing. But there's also a significant movable middle that have yet to be engaged, that we need to reach in order to build a climate majority. And we know from our social media targeting that our messaging is reaching and engaging those folks. So this summer, we're going to be throwing a series of climate-ready block parties to engage people in climate justice work as a community-building practice. Our vision as an organization is everyone in a climate-safe community, one that is prepared, welcoming, and connected. We know that that might not happen in our lifetimes. But maybe it will happen in the lifetime of the amabilis fir, one of the youngest trees at Fairy Creek. Those 300-year-old babies compared to their 1,000-year-old yellow cedar elders. Right now we're hearing what feels like an old story about a zombie pipeline reemerging in the north, about the impossible reconciliation of the environment and the economy, the impossible reconciliation of prosperity and our deepest held values of stewardship and love. But there are still new chances to listen and new chances to be heard. We are not split in two. And like the elders say, we can learn from the trees that bend but do not break. Elder Carl Olson has gone to protest by the Goldstream River over 150 times. Land defenders are still in the Wallbrand today, long after media attention has moved on, protecting those old-growth trees at Fairy Creek. All day long, forests are engaged in the sacred practice of turning our expired breath into our future life, without attention, without applause. We too are needed in this work, to honor what they so effortlessly give to us, the chance to tell new stories. May it be so.
Please rise in body or in spirit, and we'll sing together hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
We extinguish this flame.
But not the light of truth.
We're nearing the end of our service. After we sing Carry the Flame, you'll have the opportunity to join a social group. There are breakout rooms available online for the next 30 minutes. If you want to join an online breakout room, just stay online and the host will put you in one. We'll have refreshments and conversation here in the hall. So if anyone's new here, we have coffee, there's always a potluck, a lot of good stuff. Now this is the time of the service when we give a shout out to the many people who make our Sunday services happen. Everyone deserves a hearty thank you today, particularly the Sunday Services Committee, the audiovisual team, who, after receiving Reilly's email yesterday, were able to pivot on a dime and make today's service a success. And also to thank the many others who have given their time and energy to make today's service so wonderful. To Reilly Yo, while not here in person, took the time to make certain that everything she had worked so hard preparing was able to be presented. And I want to thank Nuria for stepping up to work with me today and the whole team. That way you didn't have to listen to me just drone on and on all day. And absolutely wonderful to have our amazing music director, Leah, back with us. And thank you to the greeters, the offering collectors, those at the welcome table, the kitchen volunteers who come early and stay late. Man, that's us next week. Those who brought food and these beautiful flowers today. Our heartfelt gratitude to all of you. Thank you. We'll now sing our final song, Carry the Flame. The words are on the hall and the wall. There's one set here and one set right at the back. And our custom is to stand, form a big circle, and hold hands or touch elbows as you're comfortable. Thank you. Excuse me, if I could just throw a personal note in. If I could just throw a personal note in. Just prior to the service here, I had a personal meltdown, and I want to make a sincere apology to everyone who witnessed me with that, and it's not who I want to be, so thank you.